Hey guys, you're back with Juzzy, and this is the first video detailing some of the modifications that I'm doing to my 2022 Honda Rebel CMX 500 Special Edition. So I picked up the bike yesterday. It is brand spanking new and fully factory. The Special Edition comes with a brown seat. I've just changed it to the OEM black seat, so that was $112 in Australia. And the first modification I wanted to do to it was to actually change the slip-on that is on it. So the slip-on from factory is quite a quiet unit, and as you can see here, it's quite a large unit. So it actually doesn't have a bad sound, but just the appearance of it is just, not for me. So a lot of people do this as a simple and sort of first mod to the motorbike. And what I found when I was doing research online is that when you hear an exhaust on YouTube, of course, it sounds dramatically different to what it does in person. So I've only been able to hear recently a Vance & Hines, which I installed to my friend's 500, and it sounded very, very different, much better than what it did on YouTube. So I guess, the point of making this video is for me to sort of talk about how a cheap exhaust does in comparison. I've actually bought a couple of slip-on exhausts, but I've only got one here at the point in time of making this video. So in order to remove the OEM exhaust, you actually have to undo the clamp that's right here. So that is a 12mm, and then you actually need to do the mount that the exhaust, as you can see, the exhaust has a welded flange connected to it, and again you just need to use I believe it's a 12 as well there. The reason why this doesn't look factory is because I had the dealer remove the pegs as I've registered this bike as a single seat conversion, so that's why there's no rear seat and no pegs on it. So I'm just going to remove those two parts and open up the new box, show you the exhaust and fit it. Now, one thing to make note of here is that in the Rebel 500, the catalytic converter is actually a part of the headers. So the headers come down here, and then there's a catalytic converter there. So on the 500 and 1100 variants of this bike, you're fine to put a slip-on exhaust with no tune, but if you've got the 300 and potentially the 250, that's I believe only in Japan, then you may need to actually get a slip-on exhaust that has a catalytic converter as a part of it, or you can actually buy inserts which are kind of like a silencer. And I do have a silencer for the new exhaust, and I'll show you how that sort of works just in case you're interested. But the bike does have a cat converter that you can't remove unless you remove the whole headers. You can get a complete exhaust system, but I'm not interested in getting a tune for this bike. I want it to be running on the standard tune that it comes from Honda from factory. Okay guys, so I've just got a 12mm sort of ratchet socket here, and it's easy enough to undo by hand. So all you need to simply do is just put this spanner on and start working that bolt out. So I'll just do that now. As you can see, I've just put a couple of towels down because it is a genuine exhaust. It literally only has 10 kilometers of riding on it from the ride home from the dealership to my home. So I would recommend, if you are wanting to sell it or just keep it so you can put it back to standard, to have a towel down. It's not so worrying because once you undo this bolt, the exhaust is well and truly held on the neck of the headers here, so that headers part has about that much of pipe, but that has to move back before it can come off, and this bolt actually holds it in Alright, so let's remove this 12mm now. So I've just undone this 12mm bolt, and as you can see, it's just come straight down like that. So that is actually a clamp which you can just leave there for now, but the exhaust is so new that hardly any dirt has come off because it is brand new from factory. So now I'm going to remove the 12mm here, and there is a 12mm nut on the back, so you'll undo this one. You might need a spanner to hold there whilst you're undoing the bolt. Let's do that now. Alright guys, so I've just undone the 12mm bolt. There's a nut on the back, just place that down there, and the bolt comes out as well. So as you can see here, the exhaust now doesn't have a bolt, so it is sort of free to go up and down a little bit. I'm going to need two hands now. What I'm literally going to do is just pull this slip-on straight back, and then just carefully place it on the floor, and let's have a look at what that looks like. Alright, so that was super easy to remove with hands. All you'd have to do is just sort of wiggle it like this as you pull it back. Here's what the pipe looks like from factory, and as you can see, it's got a sort of a neck that prevents the exhaust from going too far back, but also that allows the exhaust to line up at this hole, the hanger on this factory exhaust mount. So let's now have a look at the new exhaust. Alright guys, so here is the new slip-on exhaust. So this is a very common exhaust that you'll see from a number of manufacturers online. You can buy them from all over the place. As you can see, this one is branded as a very well known exhaust system. However, this is the kit. So I purchased it for about 180 Australian dollars delivered. I did buy it from AliExpress, and if you are not wanting to spend a huge amount on an exhaust system, but you're keen to have something that looks black and it sounds good and bolts up as it's intended to, then score. So in the actual box, it came with the slip-on and the mid-pipe. Now this mid-pipe goes over that there, and as you can see, there is a sort of a bottleneck or ridge that stops the exhaust from sliding down, so you can't really go wrong. It comes with a stainless steel coloured clamp though, so a silver one rather than a black one. So in anticipation of that, I thought I'd better find my Duplicolor high heat black paint. Now I've actually used this on my Evo on the exhaust manifold heat shield, and it certainly has no issue. It's never peeled in the 2 or 3 years that I've had it. I've gone racing on it. It's brilliant. So as you can see, tested up to 1093 degrees temperature. In Australia, this can is purchased through Super Cheap Auto, but I'm sure, sort of being an American brand, or at least I think it's an American brand, you should be able to find something similar in America. Yeah, so it says here that it's distributed under MMP. Alright, so what I'm going to do is try put this mid-pipe on and use the factory black clamp. It's very easy, it just needs that one 12mm headed bolt, and then I'm going to try and fit the actual exhaust itself. Now I purchased this exhaust and it came with a free silencer. So basically the way these silencers work is that they slip inside that part there, and so when they're in there, that then is meant to obviously reduce the amount of exhaust flow that goes through. So as you can see, instead of having a straight through hole, it's full of small little holes. So yeah, the exhaust gas is meant to hit that end plate and then sort of come through the holes and then go through. interesting thing about this exhaust, I'm not actually sure, but if you have a look at the end here, you'll see that it's not a straight through pipe. So it does actually have similar inserts that are there. Now, there's two Allen headed bolts there, which I think I should be able to maybe use and get them out, but I'm just going to try installing the pipe as it is and see how it goes. The first thing I've noticed, and I did read a comment about this online, is that this mid pipe has got a super tight fit to go inside here. It's pretty tight. It's not super tight, but yeah, it looks like it's doable. But yeah, I'm going to try it without this silencer and do a little test video of it running, and then I'll put it in and just see what the difference is and see if I'm finding it too loud. I don't want an obnoxiously loud exhaust. I actually just want something that's just a little bit more throatier than standard, that when people are driving or riding around me, they know that I've got they know that they've got someone next to them riding, which is me. All right, so I'm going to fit that silencer in now. Let's see how we go. All right, guys, so I've got the slip-on exhaust installed now. Now, I did need to make a modification as per one other customer's comments had noted. Basically, I had to cut 2.5 centimeters of pipe just using just an ordinary steel cutter, 18 volt, from the mid pipe, because the mid pipe section was too long. So basically it was at this point here, and of course it can't get to that point because there is a what would you call that, a flange there that narrows down to a smaller size. So once I cut 2.5 centimeters out of this pipe, I was then able to push it in. It was a super tight fit, so I just used a normal hand file just to round off the edges, and then it went in. So at the moment I've just got the I haven't got the silencer in, but it does have the silencer in the pipes. So let's see how this sounds like now, and then I'll take it off the silencers from the rear, and then I'll try it with that one. And then the last thing will be to have no silencers whatsoever, which is going to be crazy loud. All right, so let's have a look. So now I'm going to put this on here, start neutral. Alright, so pretty good. Really like the sound of that. I can't believe it made that much sound with the silencers in. So I'm just going to stand outside the garage for a minute, because of course the garage is now full of hydrocarbons. But I'll resume when I've got the silencer installed into that middle pipe. Alright, so that was a simple install. Just simply pulled those two pipes apart and put the silencer facing that way, of course, into the exhaust. So now it's got the two factory silencers plus the optional silencer that the seller provided. So let's give it a start up now and see how it goes. So that is a bit better. I do like that actually. It's got good sound, but it's actually not too loud. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I'll cut the video now and finish off the clamps and springs. Okay guys, so the slip-on exhaust is now installed. So looks pretty sweet there, I must admit. It's got a logo on it, it's got the silencers inside, it's got two on the end, as I said. one in the middle, and for me that was not overbearingly loud. It was actually reasonably good. So yep, here is the clamp. So as you can see, it's a stainless steel clamp that came with the exhaust, and I've just painted it in that heat temp paint, which gets a nice matte finish to it, which is very similar to the stock exhaust slash headers. And it comes with some silver exhaust spring clamps. So basically I took them out as well, gave them a paint on the ends, and then gave them a quick touch up after I used a spring puller tool. So that's what that looks like. Helps you to pull a spring so that it can reach over the clamps. And yeah, so all up, I ended up cutting 3 centimeters of pipe directly straight on the larger end of this mid pipe. The skinnier end just went straight into there, no problems. So as you can see, the lineup is now spot on. There is no clearance issues with the exhaust. And it looks really good. So that is the first modification that I have now completed for the Honda Rebel 2022 CMX 500 Special Edition. I will get some video footage of the bike in some subsequent videos, and yeah, I just think that it looks great, and yeah, it's good to have actually got this big clunker of a factory exhaust off. That is way heavier than the factory unit, so got some weight to shed on this bike, which is only going to make it go a little bit faster and I guess a little bit more fuel efficient. Alright guys, if you like this video, please like. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I will put a link up to where I bought this on online, and yeah, if you've got any questions, please make a comment. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm nearly at 1,000. You're going to see a whole bunch of content for my Honda Rebel and Evo 10. The actual next mod I'm about to do, which is actually being recorded straight away, is the installation of some frame sliders. So alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.